Hey everybody, this is Joseph, the Italian New Yorker living here in rural North Dakota. And as you can see, I have a friend of mine. This is my friend Hilde. And Hilde is actually from the Netherlands. Okay, so she's kind of a foreigner here to North Dakota as well, although she's been living here for a long time. I've been actually here in North Dakota now for 23 years, 24 years, I guess, almost coming out. But anyway, I just thought it would be fun to get Hilda's perspective on what it's like for her living here in Valley City, North Dakota. So anyway, Hilda teaches up at the college. So you can say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our presentation from Valley City, North Dakota.
Yeah, our English is great, isn't it? So how long have you lived here in Valley City? And how'd you get here?
I came from Washington, D.C., and I worked for the National Institute of Health, and I decided that I wanted to be a teacher. Yeah. And I applied for a job at Valley City, North Dakota, and I was like, yeah, really, do I want to go to North Dakota? But the job was interesting, and when I saw that they had a hippie as a department chair, I figured it can't be that bad of a place. So
that's Joe Stickler, the hippie, right?
Yes. And so I applied. They hired me, and I officially started on August 19th, 2002. So I'm in my 19th or my 19th year of teaching.
Wow.
And I've liked it. And I have to admit, I do like small town living. So, yes.
Well, what are some of the differences that you see between, because I know you lived in Holland, in the Netherlands, then you lived in Washington, D.C. for a little while, but for a couple of years, and then you came here. So what were the differences that struck you the most between, say, the Netherlands and Valley City? Food, culture, people.
It's a totally different world. And for me, the most interesting part is that, and this is both true for here as it was for Washington, D.C., is everything is competition in the American society. It's all about competition. The tendency to rank everything. When I graduated from school, I didn't know if I was first in my class or last in my class or somewhere in the middle or whatever it was. Here, people rank everything. The other thing that I noticed...
So you'd say Americans are very competitive?
Yeah, there's a competitive edge to practically everything. Yeah. And the other thing that I noticed is the hospitality. I have never had a holiday that I was sitting alone. I always get an invite somewhere. People are always concerned. And the generosity of the people. In general, when people need help, a town comes together and says, we need to help that people. Yeah. And so that's sort of the general kind of, thing that I think is uniquely American. Okay. There's no way that we would invite a stranger join us for Christmas dinner. That's sort of not really done. Yeah, no, that's such an American thing, and I thoroughly enjoy it because I've met a lot of fun people that way over the years.
Well, now Americans are used to things American. They don't realize what people don't have overseas. So, what are some American things that very common things that you found odd or like, for example, let's go with foods because I like to talk a lot about foods. I know root beer floats. You've never had a root beer float till you came to the United States, right?
No, and I still don't like them. Eggnog is not my favorite either.
That's an American thing. Yeah. What are some American things that you found?
Corn on the cob was something new too, and I was never. I'm still not a big corn eater. Yeah. But having fresh corn on the cob is something special. That's definitely something worth it. Okay. When it comes to food, the food variety, particularly in Washington, D.C., where I lived in 1 mile, I could eat around the world. Yeah. And,
well, I think most cities are like that.
Yeah, but that was one thing. North Dakota cooking, it reminds me of Norway a lot.
I was going to say, is it odd to you? Because in the United States, we're a collection of different nationalities, so we have American food, but, we have the Norwegians here celebrate the Cinco de Mayo, and the Italians and the Irish and all the different, but in the Netherlands, you're all Dutch.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a different perspective.
Except that we have a lot of influence from Indonesia, because it was territory.
The Dutch East Indies,
and so a lot of our flavors come from that. Mm-hmm. We put a lot of fruit in our meals, and that's definitely something that came from the Indonesian people. Yeah. Our cuisine is more French oriented, so we do have some Dutch things. Yeah. stampot, which is a one-pot meal where you put the vegetables and the potatoes in one and then you mash them together.
Yeah.
And there's different variations of that.
Yeah, I never knew why they called it a Dutch oven. Because as we got Dutch, until Hilda started cooking Dutch things, and everything was like just cooking in one pot. So I said, that's why they call it a Dutch oven.
Yeah. And there are some Dutch specialties that I miss, herring, for example, and pancakes. We have more the French style pancakes, the very thin ones that are 1.5 feet in diameter, and then you put all kinds of savory stuff on it, and it's a meal. You can eat that for dinner. Okay. So there are things that I miss, but they're not like what we consider cuisine. It's more like everyday food.
Yeah. And what about holidays? Because people think, all the holidays are the same wherever you go, and of course they're not. Each country has its own holidays. Was there any holidays that you found that that you miss in the Netherlands, or that are new to you in this country? Because we have like a Memorial Day and Labor Day and things like that. I'm sure. Well, obviously 4th of July is. You probably have your own Independence Day and.
No, we don't. We have King's Day, which is our national holiday, which is the birthday of the king. Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, for a non-religious country, only 10% is religious. We celebrate all the church holidays. Yeah. So we celebrate. We celebrate Pentecost and all that, and we don't really have common holidays. Yeah. And for a religious country like the United States, it's actually really interesting that they don't celebrate, because most people here don't know Ascension and Pentecost as a holiday.
For Christmas, December 26th, Christmas is over.
Yeah,
there's 12 days. What about you? Got to keep going. There's more. I know in a lot of European countries, they celebrate the January 6th and the whole 9 yards.
And so our days off are connected to Christian holidays, except for King's Day and then Liberation Day, which is May 5th, which is from the Second World War. Mm-hmm. But no, we don't have an Independence Day, because technically the Netherlands has been independent for over 500 years, and it was a period. And so it wasn't. No.
When do you shoot off your fireworks?
December 31st.
New Year's Eve. It's a fire, and you do the big bonfire. And all of that.
We do big bonfires for Easter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's a competition between towns who can make the highest, and
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I know when I lived in New Zealand, one of the things I found there's a lot of things that I liked in America, and there's a lot of things that I liked in New Zealand, certain things that I thought they did. Do you find certain things that if you moved back to the Netherlands, you'd say, I like the way the Americans do it better, and I'm sure there are a few Dutch things that you say, I like the way the Dutch do better.
When it comes to business and entrepreneurship, the United States does much better than in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, we have rules on top of rules on top of rules. So if you want to start your own, hairdressing business, you need a permit here, a permit such. You can't do it in your garage. Here, you have way more opportunities just to start a business in your garage and then grow it. Yeah. And there's something to be learned from that sort of attitude. We have a lot of rules on rules on rules. We have backup for backup for backup. Yeah.
Now, I know one thing that you think the Dutch do a lot better than the Americans, and this is really important here in North Dakota, is flood control.
Absolutely. We know how to do flood control.
Floods.
We have, across the whole nation, we have a lot of small, they call them waterschappen. And those are the people that are appointed, compare them to soil districts that we have here. But their job is to regulate the water in their area, and there's elections for that and stuff like that. Yeah. Yes, we have a big part of our budget every year or a sliver of our budget every year is going to maintenance of all the water and dikes and there's some very innovative stuff going on right now, which I really enjoy.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that Hilda and I have in common, of course, is because neither of us come from here. We don't have really family here. So we both spend, with the exception of COVID, I spend a lot of time on planes going back and forth. I have my family in New Zealand. She has a family in the Netherlands. And before we go, we'll finish up here. But when her parents were here last year and we all went out, it happened to be over Christmas right by my birthday. So they sang this wonderful birthday song for me. And they don't sing Happy Birthday to You. I actually, you want to sing it? The birthday song?
I have to think a little bit.
Here comes on. I forget how it goes.
Is een jarig, hoera, hoera. Dat kun je wel zien, dat is hij. Dat vinden wij allen zo prettig, ja, ja. En daarom zingen we blij, 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 blij. Hij leven lang, hoera, hoera. Hij leven lang, hoera, hoera. Hij leven lang, hoera, hoera. Piepen de piep, hoera.
And hurrah to Hilda. Thank you so much for being on my video. Take care, everybody. Hope you enjoy it. And be well, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
See you soon, bye.